Hello. Welcome to another edition of XFeed. My name is Schiller. If this is your first time tuning in, we talk about Web3 news headlines and about your favorite projects. So if you enjoy this, would love for you to subscribe, follow, like the video, and hang out. You know what I mean? All right, just going over quickly, CoinMarketCap here, if you're familiar, one of the websites many people use to look at charts, is hiring for a Web3 content writer. So thought, let's go through what exactly that they want. So responsibilities: content creation, storytelling, research and analysis, collaboration, editing and proofreading, and the qualifications: 3 to 7 years of professional content writing experience, preferably in a marketing or communication roles. You got to be an exceptional writer, editor, and proofreader, excellent research skills, strong communication, preferred qualifications: experience in crypto, fintech, knowledge of content marketing. To be totally honest, I thought this was going to have a significantly more requirements, qualifications, everything else. It's not too bad, except for the fact having to work in some kind of writing job for a while. So if anybody's looking for a gig within Web3, well, there you go. So yesterday we highlighted some different things of when you Google or research NFT or Web3 online, what pops up when you filter for the news. And one of those being about this AI soccer game. And I was like, okay, let's actually look into it. So I went to their site and it says outfoxing human soccer players with AI and robotics, which what exactly does that mean? You scroll down to the project overview. At Foxy AI, we train robot brains to defeat humans in soccer. We will engage millions of soccer fans and AI enthusiasts and make advanced technology accessible and entertaining. Participate in online tournaments and interactive activities to earn rewards. Our robots watch you play and learn. Do your part to advance AI and robotics. Now, the thing that I'm still I don't really understand is, are they saying these are going to challenge people in person? Is this supposed to be something that's online? Where exactly is this going to happen? And the RoboCup aims for autonomous robots to defeat World Cup champions by 2050. The OXC team has excelled in RoboCup, winning multiple top positions in over 20 years of participation. I'm still massively confused. Oh, hold on. We got a simulation on here. We got 2 hours of this. And I guess this is literally FIFA. Guys, what are we doing? There's nothing that looks that engaging about it. And this is, I guess, where the style, the actual game implementations of, I was kind of intrigued when I saw the article. But when you dive a little bit deeper, it's is it really that interesting? So when you search NFTs, there's basically nothing new that comes up except for something new coming to Zora. And then over on the Web3 side, there is 2 different ones. One of them being about Ripple signing something new to promote XRPL, and then Hong Kong virtual banks doing something within Web3, which is kind of interesting. And Atari, what's up? Got bench, bruh, unbelievable. So if you guys haven't seen, we're going to get to the story in a momentaro, but they leaked some Retiverse behind the scenes footage in terms of their attention to detail, and they showed somebody making a bench. I'm like, what in the halibut is going on? But let's look over one of the headlines here. Hong Kong virtual banks eye Web3 growth despite regulatory hurdles. Despite capturing just 0.3% of retail bank assets, Hong Kong's virtual banks are exploring opportunities in the Web3 space. Now I'm trying to think, and I don't know many Canadian banks that have anything to do with crypto. Most of the time you can do wire transfers, there's e-transfers and that kind of stuff, but I don't think any of them really custody it, except if a bank offers something where you can buy one of the crypto ETFs. But again, that's significantly different, if you know what I mean. The government has made efforts to develop virtual banks and upgrade services in the past few years. It's an important time for the city to contribute more to the Web3 sector in the next 2 years. So when we have headlines like this, it does make you just kind of feel excited, I guess, because again, this is just getting thrown more into the mainstream side of things. So some of the challenges by the Hong Kong virtual banks: one of the major barriers facing Hong Kong virtual banks is their difficulty opening accounts for companies that want to expand into cryptocurrency, non-fungible tokens, and blockchain technology, which is the first two, KEKW. According to the RCMP reporting, a recent survey highlighted that 40% of these companies reportedly find the process extremely hard, citing location educational and strenuous standards as too frequent challenges. Well, I guess that's a little bit to the regulatory standards to a point, or is it more? Because if it's the banks that are doing it themselves, I thought that was kind of free range, but maybe not. These challenges have reportedly driven some businesses to relocate to more accommodating regions, a trend that could prove to be counterproductive for Hong Kong digital innovation. And again, the report the other day about the ETF struggling a little bit, thought that was kind of weird. But Ripple signs new partnership to promote XRPL use in Web3. So, Crypto Eddie getting a shout out here. Famous XRP community figure Crypto Eddie calls attention to a recent strategic partnership from Ripple to foster the use of XRPL in the Web3 community, which is kind of cool. According to an announcement today, SBI Digital Community, a subsidiary of SBI Holdings, has entered into a strategic allegiance with Ripple. Under the partnership, SBI Digital Community will promote the use of XRPL in the Web3 sector, potentially increasing its user. And I like the aspect of potentially. Now, there's a little bit more where it kind of talks about the XRP.cafe infrastructure for NFTs and the marketplace for XRPL. And the thing that was crazy to me is for everybody that's here within the, whether it be the meme coin space or just generally kind of in NFTs, more like the ETH NFTs, because they have sales, there's only been 109,000, assuming this is US dollars, of NFT sales on the XRPL in the past 30 days. So essentially, barring that I'm missing something here, and, based off the knowledge here, that's insane. We've had sweeps of $100,000 in singular days for certain collections. There's been singular assets that go for $109,000 plus. And to consider that for the entirety of the past 30 days, wow. That could bring some interesting things. Now, just a side topic here. I saw this on the timeline. What is the best game from 2004? They got Paper Mario, Ratchet and Clank in here, Halo 2, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, Star Wars, Battlefront. What a game! Ooh, love that one. And it's weird to think about not realizing you were in the glory days back when those were out there. And it's making me think and be nostalgic. The NFTs that we see now, even though it's not really games and the only impression is us seeing friends and people on the timeline representing these different NFTs and showing things, are we in the good old days, or are we going to be improving where the experiences and everything is actually kind of fun? Okay, yesterday we highlighted Gary V's ending speech talking about how VCon is going to continue. I'm going to play this. It's about 2 minutes and 33 seconds. I will give a warning that there is an F-bomb that's dropped like 10, 15 seconds into this. Listen, cover the years, but this is what Gary had to say as he was wrapping up VCon, I guess 2 days ago.
This isn't the last VCon. My intentions are to give you a lot more. What I can absolutely tell you is that VCon going forward will be incredibly grounded, heavily in whatever form, and there's 4 to 5 different things I'm trying to think through, but Series 1 is the fucking alpha. About, and I'm willing to share this, is I don't think we're going to issue a ticket to the Series 1 holder. The Series 1 is it. So Series 1 is the fucking alpha, and I'll continue to make it the alpha. Obviously, I need to get clarity on so many things, as you can imagine. I'm sure you know that there's an election in November. That will help get some clarity. And so I'm an operator. I know that people pontificate on Twitter and Discord. I get this. And I've made plenty of hyperbolized micro mistakes during the fucking excitement. But in the macro, this project means the fucking world to me. I work every day on it, and I just appreciate all of you so much in a way that you cannot imagine.
Let's go, baby!
To be frank, and I'm gonna hedge the shit as this is not a promise, this is not a preview, I'm not guaranteeing this, but one of the things I think about is I don't know, I'd like to see you a little more often. This is so fun, and I know it's once a year, it's a big commitment, but there's so many things going through. But what I can tell you firmly is that this is not the last VCon. What I can also tell you firmly is that the Series 1 NFT will have the leverage for future VCon. And in fact, now that I'm done with my opening obligations, one of the things if I'd be lying if I didn't tell you, I'll go there because I feel comfortable that it will play out. I also really care that the spectacular holders in a future VCon have it play out. So there's a lot to do. I'm excited about it. I don't want anyone speculating off of this, up, down, left, right. This is not financial advice, it's none of that shit. There's gonna be more VCon. I didn't even say cons. I'm committed to that, but this is not the last VCon. And that's predominantly because, fuck, it's fun to be with you.
Okay, so interesting. Again, talking about the Series 1 being kind of the focus for anybody that's unfamiliar. VFriends has had well, basically they launched a ton of different characters, and there's Emphatic Elephant or some kind of thing that's like a wine brand. There was other ones that were associated with certain brands, companies. You got like a free jacket. I think if you had something that was a hawk. And basically the idea was that he was trying to give specific things to different collectors of specific characters within like the VFriend set. They've obviously gone on to do massive amounts of trading cards. That's kind of their focus. Again, if you go on eBay, I got like 3 boxes on these things. If anybody wants to buy them, apparently they go for a bag. So we might have some good things in there. But it is interesting that he's talking about wanting to meet more, that V1 is the alpha, where most of these things, if you had a VFriend, it didn't really get you anything except for that initial ticket. So I'm like, okay, what are going to be the kind of these extra perks? Now, I do believe that for the Series 2, there was like a free claim for them if you had a Series 1. So obviously there's more. I'm not trying to like undersell it massively, but it is interesting that the main focus for that was the tickets for VCon, and now that is changing. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of associated with like those things are now the tickets, and there's going to be more. But the point with all me yapping here and whatnot is Amanda's coming through with a fatty 42 months. Holy sweet mother of pearl. Sheesh.
Hello, Heart Hands, medium light skin tone.
A medium light skin tone. That's borderline racist. Unbelievable. But the the aspect of Gary and the whole metaverse thing, like, why the hell couldn't we have these things more online? That was one of my biggest gripes with like the first VCon and all of them. And I mean, there's the Toronto Futurist blockchain conference going on right now. I don't think there's a way to view these things digitally. Guys, we like staying at home. If you're in Web3, I mean, listen, I don't know if you guys are all absolute social animals, but I'm here, I'm chilling. I'd love to learn some certain things, but half the time it's only, okay, you have to be there to gain admission to them, which I understand the point of that, trying to bring people to it. It's expensive to do those things, but I'm just surprised that there's not more opportunities to be able to connect online. But with these metaverse platforms, maybe it's going to happen, right? Visitors of I'm a Degen sold for 1.35 ETH for, I have no idea what reason, $3,608. If you don't remember this collection, that is okay. You might not have been around in the space at the time. So Alien Boy came out and I'm a Degen came out. And I'm trying to think if it was just Alien Boy or if there was like a third alien in there, because there was alien friend there. We got like a theme of animals going on within entities. Anywho, it was Alien Boy Summer. That was the narrative where everybody was comparing different projects, and you kind of were taking like different sides of, hey, do you think I'm a Degen's cooler, or do you want Alien Boy? And it was just kind of funny. But the collections, both of them kind of have trailed off a little bit. I think both of them are still working to continue making something massive, but comparatively, right, to like the Azukis, the Bored Apes, there's like those brands that kind of proliferated a bit above, and then other ones that are really well known within people that are pretty hardcore in the space, but not necessarily as much more. And so I was checking out the I'm a Degen page after seeing that, being like, okay, what's going on with it? So July 2021, claiming that they are the first, we've always talked about the first 10,000 generative PFP rigged metaverse ready 3D files and commercial rights. Was that actually the first in July of 2021? We're going to have to go way back and see him. I just spent 5 hours tanning, and we're going to get absolutely cooked. Geez, I had a bag of those I'm a Degen things. Yo, Buffalo Space, really? Yo, when Shiloh dropped, build out. Yo, we're getting to the bench soon, sir. When Lambos. So, I mean, I'm scrolling through here. They have a pinned post from like back in 2023. Thing about Trump here, just highlighting some of the characters. And again, I guess this is kind of like what it looks like for anybody that doesn't know for the characters. And it is cool, to be honest. Like, we see these 2D avatars across the space. It is nice seeing them in kind of like a 3D motion. I think that's just art. I don't know if there's a whole lot that they've highlighted beyond that. Or I guess this is one of the characters talking. on a radio show. It's almost kind of scary. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's cool to see some of these older things still around, and curious to see what the metaverse worlds that open up for these collections that have built kind of a community on their own. Okay, Paxel. This is a collection that I haven't seen in a moment. And you might be familiar back in the day where there was certain artists that released kind of smaller editions of collections, 50 to 100, sometimes 250, but it was all individual one-of-one pieces. And there was a lot of sub-communities that started off from this just because people vibed with it. Skull Kids was one of the ones that I was into. And I saw this one, and it instantly reminded me of that back in the day. There was... Viking Laser was one of the persons that swept. It was called something Zoo, not Crypto Zoo. But there was a crazy one that I need to find back in the day. And there was a whole bunch of people that got into it. Anywho, the point being is Pixel Odyssey, 65 unique OG arts. I saw that on my timeline, just thought I'd share if you guys think that's cool. Maybe you can go take a look at it. Okay, so the Say Network, and I'm going to, typically as we do with the show, we try to see different things from different networks. I follow a lot of different ones. What comes across my For You page, try to save a little bit of everything. And at the same time, try to critique things when they seem a little weird. So from the Say Network, they are highlighting that they're working with Dragon Ninja. It's a Say gaming ecosystem, it's helping to grow the Say gaming ecosystem, but it's a RPG mobile game, okay? So when you go to this, I'm like, okay, like that's cool. They have all these big announcements, not followed by anybody you're following. That's, typically a red flag. But of course, I don't follow an insane amount of people within Say. So, take that for what it is. But as you're scrolling, it's like, okay, so we have this graphic of them partnered with Say. We have another thing that says Dragon Ninja. Okay, some partnership hub. Another thing with a partnership hub. Okay, the same graphic. Some kind of space, the same graphic. Partnership. Some other game they're partnered with. I have no idea what that is. Some other partnership. Guys, where the hell is the content, the game, like literally anything? Like what kind of social strategy is this? When people go to a page, don't have it where all they see is these announcements after announcements, have some pin stuff where you can see where the gameplay is, show it off, and try to actually get people excited. What the hell did we just look at? Major red flag looking at engagement as well. Nailed it. So CoinDCX, India's safest crypto platform, listed root, which is kind of crazy. 15 million users, says Floating Coconut. Holy smokes. That's a decent bag. Not bad, eh? Okay, so Tony R bringing up the fact of Cool Cats here. And I'm just going to read this right quick because it is kind of interesting. And I think one of the problems that we have within the space is, like Zuki, we'll use that as an example. I don't know anime. I know like Pokemon. I want to be the very best. The best there ever was. We can go through the whole song if you want. But beyond that, I don't really know anything. And some people might not even call Pokemon anime, right? But for Zuki and all of that, when they have those show launches, when they know the culture and all that stuff around it, you can get excited about it. And Cool Cats announced their manga. And to be honest, I was like, that's cool. I'm not going to read that, right? But let's go through and see kind of an actual insightful take for it. So Tony R. Vega saying, did you know Cool Cats is doing something probably no other NFT project has done? They are publishing a manga in Japan that will be distributed over 2,500 plus bookstores by one of the biggest manga publishers in Japan. The manga began publication in July via the Comic Days platform. This was the result of a collaboration between San Fran, Tokyo, and one of Japan's biggest publishers for books and manga, Kodansha, by manga artist Summer Yuma. Physical release will be available later this year in over 2,500 bookstores and over 70 online stores across Japan. The last point is significant in that I haven't seen a single manga or book produced by an NFT project, including Japanese ones, get this wide of distribution. And did you know Cool Cats is doing something probably no other NFT project has done? They're publishing a manga. Okay, so this person's just like copying and pasting some IP, or sorry, some AI response on here, but they say they're from Japan, so I don't want to rip on that at all. But I mean, listen, it reads the exact same twice over within there. But this just goes to show how little attention NFTs are getting right now. If this has happened, or if this had happened in 21 or 22, it would have gotten major coverage both in English and Japanese language Web3 media. So just for thought, right? Let's we gotta have some thoughts. You know what I mean? Not to take you back in the classroom back in the day, and the teacher's like, "Hey, does anybody have an answer to the question?" And you're like, "Oh, don't pick me, don't pick me." And they're like, "Steve," and I'm like, "Ah, shit." Right? But for this, think back to 21 and 22. If Cool Cats was launching a manga in Japan, would that have actually made a huge impact? Because we say all of these announcements would absolutely rocket the floor back in the day and all these other things. And I'm trying to think of announcements that actually got people excited. There was a ton of collaboration discussions. Most of it ended up seemingly going nowhere between like Web3 collections, right? Because I'm trying to think of like Wonder Pals, Cool Cats. There was like several other kind of like the cutesy themes that like partner together. Half of them fell to the wayside. Half of them still continue to do something. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like maybe it would have back in the day, but I don't know. This is a pretty crazy one. Going over the NHL for a second. Ilya Samsonov forgot to log off his burner account. So have you ever done something where you're like, yeah, I'm just going to rip on something, but I'm on a burner, so it's all right. But then you forget to log out and you're a massive public figure, and then you look like an idiot making fun of yourself, saying, November 21, keep your ass shut. Are you injured again? This dude is literally ripping on himself, trying to get like sympathy or start arguments with people. So the new strategy for content, right? Whenever we're like, okay, we actually got to like grow the channel, we got to collectively make an effort as a group. I just want you guys to start absolutely flaming me on every video, every single tweet. Just call me ugly, say that I'm a loser, just start ripping on me and trying to come up with specific points, right? Like you can't just, necessarily say like a flat out thing. You got to be like borderline offensive about it, right? And then listen, the engagement's going to be off the roof. If Ilya Samsonov's doing it in the NHL, listen, we can do it here in the NFT landscape. Luke and Nets, there are over 3,000 companies in the world with a market valuation exceeding $10 billion. 11 of them are in crypto. Still early. Hell yeah. McKenna saying, I think DPIN may be the vertical where people overestimate growth on the short term, but massively underestimate growth over the next decade. DY and DGen, probably the most interesting verticals of research since I discovered early days Aave and synthetics. And I didn't hear, I have no idea what the hell DY and DGen is, but that stands for decentralized Wi-Fi and decentralized energy. So again, we saw the Helium network take off with DPIN a while ago, even though I don't know anybody that uses DPIN. That uses Helium, excuse me, sorry. But again, the infrastructure, all this kind of stuff, it's making me almost think of like Silo in a way for the nodes, the decentralized aspect of thing with the metaverse notifications, communications, kind of along the same lines. We're going to see. It's going to be spicy. Yo, Buffalo, use Helium. Okay. Now I know somebody. Do you got any extra opinions, thoughts about it, etc.? I'd love to hear it. Thank you for sharing. Cyrus highlighting a crazy trade that happened yesterday. We're gonna have to go back to the thinking caps because this one is pretty nuts. So it's a Trippy Ape and 5 Ethereum for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 doodles. So 14 doodles. Now I went and looked this up the other day. And a Trippy Ape is about a 45 ETH floor with the 5 ETH. So you're looking at basically 50 ETH. For the doodles, it was 14. And I know they're not floors, but let's base this off of the floor of around 2 ETH. So that's 28 ETH if you're looking strictly at the floor. We're not going to include the duplicator, okay? But, okay, that seems extremely one-sided. But let's say that all of these ones, you can end up getting more for floors, so we'll bump it up to 3 ETH per, and then you're at 42. So again, 42 ETH comparatively to 50. We just saw the Shark go for 5 ETH, and obviously the Rainbow Puke ones go for even more, so there's 5 Rainbow Pukes. Let's just assume those ones will be able to fetch about 5 ETH. That's 25 ETH alone just in Rainbow Pukes. What would you rather have? Would you rather have 50 ETH from an ape and a stack of ETH, or do you want 14 doodles and a whole bunch of duplicators? And the comments on this thing, holy smokes. Everybody is siding with the person that sold the ape and the ETH, saying, yo, that was a massive fleece. The ape guy got the better trade. Yeah, I kind of agree, because again, liquidity is king with all this. They can get back some of their issuance right away. Now, obviously, they threw in 5 ETH with that. So it's kind of spicy, but I mean, 5 rainbow pukes are pretty insane. And for anybody that's like, well, why are you talking about the rainbow pukes? What the hell's going on? Basically, that's like the Doodles signature one. I suppose they spent like 100 ETH after the collection sold out to buy one. So it just goes to show you how well everybody is at spending money. Doodles immediately goes and buys 100 ETH Doodle off the rip. Well, 2 years-ish later, people are selling them for like less than 5 ETH. That's a little bit of a payout back in the day. Kind of crazy. Buffalo, regarding the D-pin, it's on my burner, though, not my main. Works pretty damn good, though. Might even drop AT&T soon if I can convince my wife. Ooh, okay. That's getting a little bit more. That's getting a little bit more mainstream then, good sir. The ape guy got a better trade. Massive fleece, so much easier to liquidate the doodles. True. But we'll see. Maybe apes come back. See, and this goes back to my kind of conversations around what is the purpose of having these different collections? Is it okay? Like, I'm just trading the NFTs, hoping other people want to be in the community. They want to like rep it as their profile picture, even though they could just copy and say right click save it, as the term goes. Is there any point for holding them for the ape? I mean, they would be able to take that and stake it if they had 10,000, it's like 500 ape coin, right? So 10,500 ape coin, and this is like a rough guess. I'm thinking like ape coin's probably around like 75 cents right now. So you need about 8,000 US dollars worth of ape coin plus your ape. You stake it together, and then you earn ape coin as yield. And they have like halvenings every couple of months, so it's going to be like lesser and lesser. But that would probably net them. I mean, how much? I don't even know how much you would end up getting for that per month, to be totally honest. But for the doodles, right now, there's nothing for them besides earning those space miles, which if they do launch a token, well, then you're about to get a token and you don't need to rely on going to purchase them. So again, you have all these comparisons within the space. And I think it's a huge under talked about value where people say, oh, this one's undervalued, this one's better and whatnot. But then like when you compare them, it's like, are you actually getting anything from either of them without having to spend more? A lot of it's speculation. The list goes on and on and on. And we can do this for a bunch of collections, but it is interesting and a pretty crazy trade. Okay, pretty funny video here with Raoul Paul. This one's just somebody made it. But for anybody that's Raoul Paul fan, you'll find this funny. We're only going to play like 40 seconds of it.
Wow, what a spot you've got here, Rue.
I know, right? Nothing beats a night under the stars with your best buddy.
It's just so great to get away from the charts. Like, Solana could be at 80 bucks right now, and we'd be none the wiser. Rue, do you ever worry that maybe we've got it all wrong? Like, what if that was the top? What if the maxis are right, Rue, and everything goes to zero against Bitcoin?
Crikey, Tucker, where the hell is this coming from? Do you even watch the Journeyman?
Oh, I'm not worried, Rue. It's just a fun thought experiment is all.
Don't let the market bore you into submission, my friend. That's exactly where they want you. Because just as you take your eye off the ball, boom, God candles straight to Valhalla.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Rue.
But anyway, the point that I wanted to play this video is it is very interesting where I've seen a lot of people that I follow on the timeline and discuss, conversation here and there over DM with individuals. Most people are bored out of their mind with this stuff. We're not going up. We're not going down. We're doing absolutely nothing pretty much every single day. And the problem is that half of us that are in these Web3 communities, half the time building experiences, games, they're not even out there to play. So on top of that, we're like, okay, we have all these things. We're waiting for something to do with it. And the market's not doing anything. So what do we have attention on? Oh, right. U.S. politics across the entire timeline 24/7. It's kind of nuts. But, just thoughts. Listen, thoughts. Totally agree with that little video, even though I don't know what fan account made that, but I thought it was pretty funny. Any hope that meme coins would rally died with the Trump and Elon space. And it's weird. So I saw this tweet and I'm like, it's weird because I'm not in the meme coin space whatsoever. But think of all the people that were like, damn, these guys need to talk about a certain thing. And if we have the coin that's associated with it, we are gonna moon. While we're sitting here being like, oh my God, I hope the utility pays off. And speaking of utility, here's the trailer from Readyverse that was talking about kind of their behind the scenes, highlighting the quality, the attention to detail. And the way that they decided to do this was show you how they've made a bench. Now, the entire community went and memed the hell out of this, which was kind of funny. I do not think that was the intention whatsoever. They were just like, yo, designer, we want you to record the screen, and we're going to use this as a promo video. And again, the work for this, like, it looks good. It's cool that there's so much things behind the scenes, but it is kind of an interesting marketing tactic that way. Because, I mean, for anybody that's looking at this, right, we looked at that the Dragon Ninja thing a little bit earlier, and we were like, what the hell is that? They're not explaining anything. Now, Readyverse does have some things where they show different games, the trailer, all that kind of stuff. But then when you come on down and your first impression is, oh, okay, cool. So they can make like really high definition benches. I don't know. X got rugged for me. Oh my goodness. Is the entire stream down on X? Maybe there's a 30-minute time cap. We're shocked. So there's another 2 minutes of that. We're not going to play the entire video, but I thought, that's kind of funny. Today, Dead Fellas is 3 years old. Happy birthday to the Horde. If you guys are wanting to pick up this piece, which actually looks kind of cool, it is available on Manifold and it's free. It's an open edition. And yeah, if you're wanting to grab that, there you go. Then Twitch got, okay, that's tough. Both of them having struggles. Shout out Omnis here. He tagged me in this. Without Googling, can you name one famous Canadian? They tagged me. Absolutely not famous, but much love. Appreciate the shout out. So Pac-Man made a very interesting post, which Tenacious says, I've been surprised by the lack of marketing around these levers. And I just want to read this post super quick. He says, Blast as an ecosystem has monetization levers that don't exist anywhere else. Gas fees, every L2 has, yield on USDB. No L2 has, but exists in point solutions like Athena and Maker. And yield on ETH, no L2 has, but exists in point solutions like Lido. Blast uses Maker and Lido under the hood, but those are back technologies that can be replaced over time by the community for further optimization. I've been surprised by the lack of discussion around these levers, but I think it's because revenue is a meme for almost all governance tokens at the moment. I expect that to be outdated meme across the board within a few years. It's still early days for the entire industry. And it's weird, right? Because he's talking about like the monetization levers that Blast has. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even know that was a thing, right? And to the point that Tenacious had a second ago about like the marketing about things, there's so many collections out there where, I mean, we talk about Root all the time, but they have so many things integrated that like have transaction fees that go through the entire network for the people that are staking Root. That's a huge bonus comparatively to everything else. Where we looked at Flow the other day and it was like they did like 100 million transactions and they made like a total of like $1,200 off of it. Again, great for like mass consumer markets or whatever, but for some of these things that are a little bit more optimized. I don't know if optimized is not the correct word, but incentive driven. There's some massive plays out there, but like you don't hear all these things because those narratives have to get started. The people making the educational content, it's got to be out there, whether it's from the team, the community. If the community ain't doing it, the team's got to do it. And if neither are doing it, well, it's just over. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Okay. Atari, did you actually miss the bench? Nah, it's crazy, bro. That's unbelievable. Okay, so David is highlighting here the amount of games that Cloud9 are in. And if you don't know who Cloud9 is, basically they're a massive esports organization. They recently bought the New York Subliners, who were last year's champion for the Call of Duty scene. They went to the finals again this year as well. I believe they won a major throughout the season too. So they just got into it, but it is pretty crazy the amount that they're involved in. And it's making me think about certain things where there was an article that was like the point around the post saying Cloud9 expands esports portfolio with entity acquisition, partnering with BC.game. I'm like, okay, so we're seeing these esports orgs partner with some other players. None of this is Web3 related. We've had very, very few interactions between esports teams and blockchain, to be totally honest. There's been like one or two. But seeing the amount of struggle that we've had across the esports space for anybody that watches, I guess, any esport, to be honest, but Call of Duty League's been like all right, but League of Legends have been massively hindered by whether it be Riot not helping support them or just getting sponsors for their streams, et cetera, et cetera. And so at what point did the blockchain technology come in to help facilitate some kind of revenue stream where Doodles did, that 100K raise for that pass? If you have the right people, it'll work. They are starting within League of Legends to try to support those esports teams, and it's in a pretty weird way. So they have these new emotes, which you're in a game, you can flash an emote. These are supposed to be associated with some teams. Some of them have logos associated with them, like SK, you can see it on the bottom there. Team Heretics, it's got a little thing right there. Fnatic, but generally there's not many logoing on them. And you're like, okay, that's kind of weird. And so the amount that they're giving to this is even worse. So 100 Thieves Akali emote with 30% of gross revenue going directly to the team. Interesting to see some teams go for their own branding and some teams go purely for sales. So the one we just showed was from the European scene. This one's from NA, and if you're familiar with 100 Thieves, they're in a lot of different esports, but these emotes are like $2.50. So you're saying that somebody's going to go into League of Legends, they're going to use their credit card to buy RP, because you have to buy like their currency to be able to buy anything. And then you buy an emote for $2.50, and 30% of that goes back to the team. That's basically nothing in the grand scheme of things. You'd have to sell like 100,000 plus of these things, and it still wouldn't even be that much comparatively for, again, one of the top esports leagues in the world, where, again, player salaries sometimes $60,000 to $100,000 per player. You need 5 of them, facility, room and board, all the other stuff, right? Unbelievable. I made one meme coin gamble during the space. One of the YA tokens got out with $30 profit. Yo, Janix, hell yeah. That's what we love to see. Play in the markets. Yo, Divine Hypnotoad, wag me. Yo, how about those Pokemon Go gifts daily? True. So the Blockchain Futurist Conference out in Tirana is happening. And I tried to highlight the other day of like just how small the room was. And so I wanted to try to envision, this is going to be kind of hard, but this is the stage of the upper portion, right? So you kind of go up the set of stairs and there is a stage right here. And so it's just, kind of goes back, I want to say maybe 10 rows deep, and we'll say maybe 10 chairs across. And then immediately behind that is where they have a whole nother set of booths where it's just kind of around and slammed together. I've never felt more claustrophobic in my entire life, but I wanted to share that because we got the visuals and I think, hell yeah. Okay, Illuvium, revenue distribution complete. I'm sorry, what revenue, what distribution, and why did we not get any? It's tough. Rangers, the latest revenue distribution is complete. The Illuvium DAO has bought up 349 ETH worth of Illuvium. Sheesh! Translating to around 19,090 Illuvium tokens. If you're staking Illuvium, your reward should be in your account now. Keep staking and enjoying those sweet rewards. Okay, so, I mean, for your favorite collections out there, are they doing something like that? What's going on? Listen, 349 ETH buyback? Sign me up. Ryan from Crucible, an Emergence here, saying, over 3 years, I've pulled an alliance between some important people for helping leading this vision. Jamie from I'm forgetting the name of it, OVO... Oh, I'm forgetting it. The Overhead Invested, Outlier Ventures, holy smokes. Aaron McDonald from Futureverse, Yatsui from Animoca Brands, and they're all partnering kind of together to work with Emergence and also adding a little bit of a cash on the side, 6 mil plus being raised from Emergence. I know that Arcadia has listed that they have a partnership where there's some token associated with those. If you guys check out their website, if you have an Arcadia pass within the Futureverse ecosystem, but they grabbed 60 million, Polygon, Dapper, Born Ready Funds, Outlier Ventures, Animoca Brands, and I'm not really sure what those other ones are, but that is cool that we're seeing some funding getting across. Now, the only thing that's interesting, I guess, like on a side topic, is it doesn't seem like we're having many like crazy valuations of things. Igloo, the people that are the parent company of Pudgy Penguins, and what's going on with Abstract, like they raised like $10 million, or maybe that was Abstract Chain that specifically run it, but Crucible getting 6 million. It's not the 50 to 100 million that we saw back in the day with like V Friends for Pixel Vault, etc. We're not seeing those crazy numbers anymore. Collector Crypt just sold a Pokemon card, first edition, 620 USDC. First edition Shining Magikarp. Are RWAs the next big thing, or currently the big thing? Maybe. ApeChain X D3 Inc. Earlier this year, the ApeCoin DAO approved a collaboration with D3 Global to launch ape names and secure .ape as a top-level domain, empowering ApeChain to properly integrate with critical internet infrastructure. Okay, so this is just a little bit of a thought here. Yo, I'm Dolly. What's going on? Welcome in for the thought, good sir. Are we at a point where I don't remember, but apparently back in the day, domain names were big, right? You had Coca-Cola.eth, RuneScape.eth. I mean, if you had .com, not .eth, excuse me. But you had all these domains that were going for a ton, and they still do. While we're seeing .ai handles selling for a fair bit, we're seeing .eth names going, and it just kind of goes on and on and on and on. And so .ape is also another one. Do we have a point where those become significant, or are we at a point where the names are less meaningful, right? Because I mean, you go out there, there's people with the .eth, there's the .sol, .ape, etc., etc. Or does it potentially highlight where you're able to take an identity towards anything where if you show up somewhere and you're, mtolly.ape, you're like, okay, that person's a big fan of the ape ecosystem. And then we got janix.sol. You're like, okay, that person's huge into meme coins. But it can be used for everything. And it's just something that's there. It's a part of like the whole identity thing online. And it matters a lot, or does it matter a little? That is the question. Shen highlighting that Zertmon is coming on down to the Root Network. Listen, Shen, we're friggin' waiting. When is it coming across? Because I am ready to give it a go. Apparently, you're able to play it now, like before. But listen, I'm waiting until it's on the network, and then we're diving in. We'll probably have some videos about it. Very excited to see what all of those shenanigans are about. But Zertmon is coming over to the Root Network. All right, NFT merch. We love a little bit of NFT merch. What do you guys think? We got the mutant hat. We got some chimpers in there. Bored ape clothes. This is... Oh, my goodness. What is this? Crypto Lords Toad. No, not Toads. I'm trying to think. I know exactly. Crypto Overlord. Oh, this might be Overlord. This merch is reminding me of something Overlord. The Claynosaurs, Cool Cats, Pudgy Penguins, another Chimpers book. Cool to see. And I think everybody within the space has got like a weird set of merch from their time back in the day. And Gene highlighting their room that is just absolutely plastered with BAYC stuff, from the Rolling Stone magazines to the specific exclusive merch drops to the Ape Fest, some of the different ape beverages. They got a graded card of one of their mutant apes with the Rolling Stone print graded as well. I think that's a 9.6. Originally, I thought that was a 4, and I was like, I don't know how the hell it gets that bad, but still cool to see everybody's into what they are into, and I'm appreciative that you guys are into watching this stream every single day. Again, if this is your first time watching, we'd love for you to subscribe or give me a follow, and hope you guys enjoyed this session. Of course, we will be back tomorrow. Thank you.